that ain't really a diss. What I said is, or what they said I said was, because I don't even be on Twitter, it was like Twitter receipts that Cam said you're an all-star, not a superstar. I don't even remember saying that, but if I did say that, it must have been last season, because all season, I've been having Anthony Edwards back the whole season. I don't even know where this came from. Pause.
Welcome back to another episode of GOAT Debate Media. I'm your host, Abaya Israel. My two co-hosts are not with me today, but they will be back here soon. Coach Scott, Coach J.O. Got a bit of an interesting and unnecessary episode for you guys today. Before we get into it, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Also follow us on all social media platforms if you're not doing so, especially over on Spotify, where we host our podcast. So listen, this newly erupted volcano between Anthony Edwards and Killer Cam. And if you guys don't know who Killer Cam is, or Camron, he's a rapper who also has a podcast, and his co-host is Murder Mace, who's also a rapper. And these guys are actors and entertainers, and they have a very big voice. So why are we talking about them today? Well, apparently there's been some beef between Anthony Edwards and Camron. And the beef, which we should be really talking about sports here, the beef is kind of sports related, kind of not. But I want you guys to see where this came from. I'm about to play this clip here in a second. The issue appears to start with a commercial that Anthony Edwards is doing and representing his shoe for Adidas. Now, in this commercial, you have Anthony Edwards. He's shooting the basketball. You have another guy. He's sitting on a bench, and there's some little ticket machine printing out these comments or tweets that were allegedly made by other people. And, with, Carmelo Anthony being one of them, the other person was Camron. And, as this guy's reading these tweets, these alleged tweets, Anthony Edwards is listening. He's responding. But when he gets to the tweet about Camron, who stated, "Hey, I think he's an all-star and not a superstar," and Anthony Edwards goes, "Hey, man, F that guy."
Camron said, "To me, he's an all-star, but not a superstar yet." Buddy.
And so Camron took offense to this, and not in a major way, in my opinion, because, he responded with doing a diss track, just responding to Anthony Edwards or Adidas. And the reason I say Anthony Edwards or Adidas is because this issue kind of, like I said, goes back a little further than Anthony Edwards. And it's actually Adidas that I believe, just looking at the situation from the outside in and listening to what Camron had to say, is actually Adidas who's using Anthony Edwards. And shame on them. They're using this guy, a young superstar who should be focused on his shoe deal and primarily his basketball career, but you're using him to take aim at someone that you have issue with, and now it causes a controversy that could possibly take his attention away from basketball, and that's the last thing you want to do. But listen carefully to the things that Camron is saying in relation to this issue with Anthony Edwards. Let's jump right in. We'll be right back.
But listen, to be totally honest, when I seen the commercial, I thought it was dope. First of all, I thought it was a really dope commercial. I thought it was good. I don't necessarily with the sneakers, but I thought that the commercial was really dope. And when I heard what he said, I'm like, that ain't really a diss. What I said is, or what they said I said was, because I don't even be on Twitter, it was like Twitter receipts that Cam said you're an all-star, not a superstar. I don't even remember saying that, but if I did say that, it must have been last season, because all season, I've been having Anthony Edwards back the whole season. I don't even know where this came from. Pause. But to get my name mentioned in the national campaign, I can't be mad at that. And our show, even though they tried to take a jab at us. But they didn't say Skip Bayless. They didn't say Stephen A. Smith. They didn't say Shannon Sharp. They didn't say Matt Barnes. Shout out to Matt, Stack 5, no disrespect on my brothers. They could have had they didn't say Jay Will. They know they watching. I'm the voice. I am the voice, so pay attention to what I say, and I appreciate y'all paying attention to what I say. Now, what I will say is this. Even though I did a little freestyle this morning, no problem. I'm not going to even go back and forth, man, because I'm a fan. Like I said, I'm really an Anthony Edwards fan. And he's 22. You're supposed to have that attitude when you're 22 years old. And I dig it, You tried that with Kyrie.
Where did that go?
Yeah, how'd that work out? But I like his attitude, to be totally honest with you. My real gripe, to be honest with you, was Adidas. So Adidas, this is what y'all want to do, because Anthony Edwards he's the talent. I deal with the bosses. Adidas, this is what y'all want to do? I'm just asking. This is what y'all want to do? Because listen, when I had Sebastian Telford on the show and he was dissing y'all called me and was like, yo, could we work something out, like, so y'all don't talk about Adidas on the show? And I'm like, I don't got no beef with y'all. So that's Sebastian Telford's beef with y'all. I could give y'all his number and y'all can work out whatever y'all going to work out. But I don't have a problem with you. That's what I told them. But, since, I was going to let it go, but they all in the comments and everything else. So what I did was...
What they say in the comments?
Like, they'll show the commercial and they'll be like, that's right. Little nothing crazy. It wasn't nothing bad.
So apparently this morning, Camron released a diss track aimed at Anthony Edwards and Adidas, a major shoe company, clothing line, shoe company, all that good stuff. And one thing I would have to say is, like, when I said earlier that this was an unnecessary volcanic eruption. And the reason I'm saying this is because Anthony Edwards is 22 years old, right? And he is emerging as one of these premier superstars in the NBA. This is not the road you want to go down. And if you actually listen to what was said in the commercial, what was allegedly said by Camron about Anthony Edwards, it really makes no sense. So allegedly, and as Camron said, I don't even remember saying this. It had to be sometime in the past. I'm actually a fan of Anthony Edwards. And the statement or the receipt that was had in the commercial that you see, the Adidas commercial, was he's an all-star, not a superstar. I agree with Camron. That's not a diss. But here's what I do respect about what Camron did. He identified where the problem really was. Yeah, he slapped Anthony Edwards a couple times with that diss, and he got him to the point, hey, listen, little pop, hey, listen, stay in your lane. But let me go after the guys who actually put you up to this, and that was Adidas, because there's obviously a prior situation that we didn't know about that Camron touched about. And I will have to say that's really upsetting for Adidas to use one of their stars, the face of one of their stars, to really put him out front to fight their battle, because that's exactly what's happening. They're putting him out front as if he is the one really shooting a shot at Camron, but it's really for Adidas. If you heard Camron, what he said clearly, if you look into the comment section, you have representation or representatives from the company Adidas egging it on. All right. They're egging it on. Because if you think about it, the comment, if it was really said, according to Camron, I'm not on Twitter. But if it was really said, it's not a diss. And maybe at the time it was said, maybe you were not the superstar at the time. And maybe that was a fair opinion. And remember, it's just an opinion. Now, with this particular situation coming out now, and you guys losing the way you just lost to the Mavs, the reason I say this is so unnecessary is because this is the last thing you want drawing your attention away from the sport. And in this show that was produced by Camron and Mace, the link to their actual podcast will be down in the description section. But in the show, Mace makes a powerful point as well. He states, and I'll paraphrase it, why would Adidas, take on this challenge? Why would you go up against guys who really have nothing to lose? Like, you're the major dog here, and we're famous, we're artists, we're entertainers, and we have a voice, and people definitely listen to us. But when you look at the comparison, listen, we may not have limits. This is not a fight you really want to take on. How about just focus on what you're going to focus on and stop using your superstars to fight your battles? Because if you ask me, this is really petty and it's really pathetic that it's even out there like that. But I can understand the response from the other side, because when you're being called out on a national campaign, the way that they called his name out on a national campaign, even Carmelo Anthony was mentioned, but to have your star saying, hey, F that guy. Like, I thought I liked the commercial, but I thought it was an unnecessary jab now there's some unnecessary jabs that's coming back your way you got to deal with, and you want to kind of dead this immediately. You don't want to take this into next season. I don't know if it's the fever of the past rap battle, the Drake and the Kendrick Lamar. There's a beef everywhere. It's unnecessary. You're 22 years old. You're supposed to have the attitude that, you can do everything. I remember when they asked Anthony Edwards, could Michael Jordan guard him? He said no. Some people got upset by that. I'm a Michael Jordan guy. I think he's the greatest player of all time. But Anthony Edwards is supposed to think that. If I'm 22 and I'm in the NBA and I'm a superstar, you ask me, can Jordan guard me? I'm going to say no as well. I'm not going to be like, yeah, he's going to shut me down. I'm scared. No, that's not the spirit of a competitor. All right. Now, there's one more clip I want to play for you guys before I let you go. Let's jump into this clip about Rudy Gobert and why the Timberwolves refused to interview on the TNT show inside the NBA after their loss. And let's jump into it real quick. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section. I want to see what you guys think, and we'll talk about it here in a second.
I think either way you look at it, they're still kind of being too touchy, because if you're gonna be this way when you win, I could only imagine how you would be after a loss. This type of team got to have more mental fortitude than that. This is a sign of weakness. I don't know if they think it's a sign of solidarity, but it's really a sign of weakness, because you got to do the media. And when you start ducking certain people because of their criticism, what people are basically saying for the young athletes out there is that because you try to be so social media all the time, then it should be understandable that it comes with the territory. You're not going to be super lit and then don't have to talk during these times. That comes with the territory. This is that subject we had before when we was talking about women's sports. People want the fame, they want the money, but they don't want the accountability. And that's sad, because when you don't want the accountability, you'll never end up what you were supposed to end up, and that's sad.
Usually, I would agree with 100% what May said. 100%. Usually. But the only reason I'm going to disagree is because when me and Mace started speaking and got back cool again, and we were just talking about we going to fuck with it, pause, and that we not, and it's no turning back for certain. And we could be like, well, we make an exception for him. We was like putting a list together like, yo, these is dead forever. We might can speak to these. We might can't. So when we had that conversation, we agreed on just about all of them that we might with, and all that's definitely out the loop with me and him forever. And the reason I bring that up, Murder, is because what we were saying was when, and I know it's different. I know it's just a little different. Hear me out for a second. We were saying when certain go too far on our end or the other end, where it's just no turning back. And Draymond choked Rudy out on TV. Like,
oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that choked him out for like about 47 seconds. So now
I forgot that was Rudy Gobert. You're right.
Yeah, so now I gotta go sit up with you and do. I gotta go sit up with you.
Wow, they're just letting them ask some questions.
Yeah, that's why I said That's why I was saying I usually would agree with you, but come on, man, you ain't gonna choke me out on TV for 47 seconds and then sit there and tell me. So, how'd you feel about the game tonight? Nah, man, bro.
So as I said, unnecessary press, unnecessary attention that starting to focus on the Timberwolves, and it's a young team. This is not what you want coming your way. You want to focus on basketball. All right. You want to make this all about basketball because you guys had a great run. Yeah, you had a hard ending when you came up against the Mavs. But listen, you guys can turn it around next year. But what you don't want to do is go into the playoffs with some type of beef lingering. And if you ask me, I think Camron did the right thing. He was the mature person in the party. Yeah, he made a diss track. Hey, listen, I had to show you that you're a puppy, stay in your lane, but I know it's not you. I'm a fan of yours. I'll go after the big dogs who put you up to this, and I'll take care of it. That situation there. But I'm going to be the mature party here. And now the next question is, okay, so after you guys lose, you refuse to do the Inside the NBA interview. And I kind of agree with Mace, and also I agree with, Camron as well. I agree with Mace. Like, listen, you can't show yourselves to be emotionally weak or anything of that nature. Like, congratulate. We see Anthony Edwards. You're walking off the court. You're not telling the Mavs congratulations on your victory. You come off as a sore loser. And let's just be honest. If it was LeBron James, because it was LeBron James, we all jumped on his case for that. So we have to give Anthony Edwards the same exact energy. You can't be that type of player in the NBA. Now, I also agree with what Camron said. I can see that being a team effort coming together, because Draymond Green, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fan of this guy. I never listened to him. It's hard for me to listen to him. If I had someone choke me the way that Draymond choked Rudy, and now you want to interview me, yeah, I probably wouldn't do that either, because it's probably going to be a fight. So for me to avoid that, I'll probably just go the other way. I can understand that. But here's the point. When it's too much press, even if you're right in this situation, maybe right in that situation, maybe this was understandable. But when it's always something, whether you're right or wrong, it's always something. That's not what you want. That's going to start to make you make you look like you're that emotionally weak guy, paint you in a bad light. And as an up and coming superstar, that is not what you want as you go throughout your career in the NBA. Listen, Anthony Edwards, I'm a fan. I actually love his attitude as well. Like Camron said, hey, he doesn't back down from anything, but I do think there is some more guidance that's needed there. Don't get yourself in these little spats as well. Shame on Adidas for using you to fight their battle, because they had an underlying issue with these guys and what they were saying on their podcast. So therefore, they paid you to go out and say something, or to pull up something that these guys can't even say if they said it or not. Shame on Adidas. Listen, let's get back to focusing on the NBA and the basketball. Let's stay with sports, because you don't want to cross that line. These guys got a microphone for a reason. They're good at rapping for a reason. They're good at acting for a reason. They have a voice for a reason. Their voice is big for a reason. You have a basketball for a reason. Stay in your lane and don't let anybody push you out of that. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. Follow us on all social media, and make sure you follow us on Spotify for the podcast over there. And we will see you guys next time.